Zack Polanski's riding a green wave into these May elections, and he's on a mission to sink the Prime Minister.
I don't see how he survives that set of elections and stays on.
The leader of the Green Party hopes to gain hundreds more seats in England and Wales in next month's elections and hit Labour hard.
I really want to make sure we have our best election ever, which is no small feat. Actually, a couple of years ago, we won over 240 council seats, which was a huge success at that time. Despite the fact there's many less seats in play at this election, I still believe we'll beat that.
And he does face challenges in growing his party from a narrow base of voters into a serious electoral force. And on important voter issues like defence, questions remain over his party's position. And what's the first duty of any Prime Minister?
To protect this country. I think that really is the first duty of any Prime Minister.
Keep the country safe.
Yeah.
And where do you stand on NATO then, the most important security alliance of the West?
I want us to create an alternative alliance to have that discussion.
So you want to leave NATO?
Not immediately. Once we've got that alternative alliance with our European neighbours, so we can ensure our military, our security, then to start working towards that alternative.
Okay, when do you want to leave NATO by?
Well, once we've built that alternative alliance, but we don't even start that conversation, and Keir Starmer has kind of had whispers of my same position, but doesn't seem to be taking any action to work with the European neighbours.
I've never heard Keir Starmer say that he thinks that we should transition to a different alliance from NATO.
He said, though, that we should build a closer security relationship with Europe.
You can build a closer security. And it's not just on defence that Polanski's judgment's been called into question. At a time of rising anti-Semitic attacks around the UK, the Green leaders unnerved the Jewish community with comments he's made. You said on the horrific wave of anti-Semitic attacks, there's a conversation to be had about whether it's a perception of unsafety or whether it's actual unsafety, but neither are acceptable. But there's not a perception of unsafety, it's a real threat, right? Why did you say that?
Well, those people would be taking me out of context and doing it for their own particular political reasons. What I think I'm saying is very clear. They're both arsons, and dressing up an artificial image of a Jewish leader dressed as a Nazi is also unacceptable. One is actually making Jewish people unsafe, and one is a perception of unsafety.
A politician who came later to politics, there are also questions about his judgment in the past. Okay, and I want to just come back to one other thing, and this is slightly awkward, but I'm going to raise it with you, because I want to come back to an article in a national newspaper that featured you in 2013 when you were a hypnotherapist, because I've read it a few times as part of my research. You told a Sun journalist you could increase the size of her boobs with hypnotherapy, and I have to say, I read this article, I found it really weird. Like, why did you do that?
Yeah, the article's nonsense, and I've apologised for it several times, and I stick by that apology.
Why do you say the article's... I've got the quotes, I read it. There were direct quotes from you.
Because it was...
Was the article... Why are you saying the article's nonsense? You clearly did it, and then a few days later you went on the BBC radio and you repeated it.
I wasn't a politician. I went along with the idea. I shouldn't have done that, and that's what I've apologised for, and stick by that apology.
So you regret doing it?
Oh, I mean, it's embarrassing.
Yeah. Just finally then, you don't think that women can increase their breast size through hypnotherapy, do you?
No, I don't.
Just to be clear. What he does firmly believe is that the Green Party's going to bloom in this set of elections. Polanski's getting used to more attention, but with more success comes more scrutiny. Are the Greens really ready for that? Beth Rigby, Sky News, Manchester.